All right, Nick, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They eke out another win against all odds. It was seeming grim there, but last second heroics were able to get them the win over the Baltimore Ravens, and this is huge for the Steelers, Nick, because just pretty much only one thing has to happen. They need a little bit of help. They got to win their next game, and they're in the playoffs more or less. And it's incredible to see from the start of this season to where they are now. This has been a masterclass on just how to run a team and how to do things right. We kind of have a story about that we're going to get into. But Steelers fans, I'm not trying to look too far ahead, but there's only 1 week left in the season. And, if everything works out the way, if they take care of business next week, you could get into the playoffs. And when you get there, who do you want to see in the playoffs? Let us know in the comments below who you would like to see in the playoffs. And while you're there, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because it really kind of helps us out. We really appreciate it. But Nick, what do you have on the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, so obviously, like you alluded to, that game-winning drive at the end to pull out that incredible road victory, of course, against the hated rival Baltimore Ravens was absolutely stupendous, and a lot of credit goes to Kenny Pickett and that offense, and rightly so, back-to-back games with a game-winning drive to keep the team alive in the final 2 minutes. But I want to point out what Mike Tomlin has done, and you kind of alluded to this, because all the stories I see and everything out of the blogosphere and all the news coming out of Pittsburgh the last couple of days is how Mike Tomlin got this team to a situation where they shouldn't have been. They were 2-6. No team has, I think, well, actually, I'm sorry, I think one team in NFL history has started the season 2-6 and made the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm sorry, have a chance to become the second team to get that done. No one expected this team to do it, right? You had quarterback issues. You had injuries at quarterback. Pickett, of course, got concussion. You had injuries at pretty much every other position. Your best player, TJ Watt, missed a lot of games, right? You're in a brutal division. You're in a brutal conference. It wasn't supposed to happen, but somehow Mike Tomlin and this group got it done. And I want to go back to after the game-winning touchdown throw to Najee Harris from Kenny Pickett, what Mike Tomlin, of course, was caught saying. If you look at the broadcast of the game, looking at Kenny Pickett as he walks off the sideline, he just stares straight at him and says, "Kenny effing Pickett." Right? It is so clear. I love that moment because it just shows kind of Tomlin's coaching style. But to me, it's so clear that Tomlin believed in his guys and believed in his strategy and believed in himself and the culture in that environment in Pittsburgh. And we're seeing the results. They start 2-6, 6-2. They're 4-8 just a few weeks ago. They're dead on arrival. Maybe they should just, sail in the rest of the season, pack it in, plan for 2023. And here they go, going into the final week of the season with a chance to have a winning record and get into the playoffs. This has been an unbelievable coaching job by Mike Tomlin, and he deserves an unbelievable amount of credit.
Yeah, Nick. I mean, once again, Mike Tomlin, 8 or more wins in a season in his career, never been below eight.
Staggering.
It's quite the feat. And, when you look at Pickett, and it's quite interesting because going up against the Ravens have similar struggles as Pittsburgh. You look at Kenny Pickett, and the offensive production has been attributed all season long to Matt Canada. That's the reason that everybody believes this offense can be taken to the next level if they move on from Canada and get a more progressive offensive coordinator. But Pickett, Nick, against all odds, against everything, at the end of the game, when it comes down to it, he was able to lead the drive down the field and throw that game winner touchdown. And that's just kind of the sentiment that Tomlin was getting across in his comments is he feels, and I think Pittsburgh fans feels, I think the teammates feel that Kenny Pickett has that it factor. He can get the job done when it matters. He's got ice in his veins. He's just that guy. That is who Kenny Pickett is. He's a guy that wins football games, and I would be excited if I was the Steelers about the potential future of Kenny Pickett, the development in this offense, and you got to see what happens down the stretch if they're able to pivot off of Canada and move into a more pass-friendly offensive scheme, Nick. That I can't reiterate that more times than not, but I'm really excited about it just because you see the moxie and you see the competitive nature and clutch factor of Pickett. Those are what you can get out of the season. Put the offensive performances out the window.
Well, I think one of the things, and this is, I think, the question, right? And it's sort of almost a kind of mini Brady Belichick kind of debate is it Tomlin's coaching and culture and environment and leadership that gives Kenny Pickett the ability to kind of blossom into that role? Or does Kenny Pickett already have those attributes and Tomlin just encourages? Like, it's one of those chicken or egg questions, because I think both deserve a lot of credit. I think, look, I'm going to be honest, at 4-8, I was like, man, Tomlin, he's done a poor job, obviously, sticking with Canada. The issues at quarterback, they absolutely stink. But to his credit, the Steelers don't die. In fact, I got this quote, typical Mike Tomlin, right? He wins every quote, wins every press conference. So Tomlin was told by I think it was Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, he says, man, you guys are hard to kill. And Tomlin said, quote, we don't die, we multiply. I tell you what, I kind of like it. I mean, Tomlin's a different kind of guy, he's a different kind of coach, but you can't deny he's been extremely successful. So there definitely is a bit of genius to how he runs the Steelers team. No question about it.